All right. So where do I start? Well, it's been a long bloody time since I've recorded a video, and as you can see, these are new. So yeah, the title of this video is "Guess Who's Back," which of course is me. Anyway, I suppose I'm gonna try and start recording more videos again after a nice long break. I suppose I should start by talking about what I've been doing for the last year or so. Haven't quite given up the smokes. I'm no longer living in a major city. Moved out of Melbourne, and I'm living now in Swan Hill, which is in northeastern Victoria, I think it is. Yeah, no, northwestern Victoria. Moved here for the quiet, the lack of people, because my anxiety was just going through the roof, like all the damn time. And so I thought, fuck it, and I moved. I'd be lying if I didn't miss my friends and the access to more of a... Not that I ever went anywhere, but the access of being able to occasionally go out or something. But overall, it's probably the best thing I've done in a long time. Excuse the shitty camera quality at the moment, because I'll have to work on, if I'm going to record videos again, I'm going to have to fix up lighting and all this bullshit. But anyway, what else is new? I have a new diagnosis. I now have been diagnosed with what is called borderline personality disorder. And trying to think the best way to describe it, because like me and my psychiatrist and even the psychologist weren't entirely certain of my original diagnosis, which was bipolar 2, with major depressive episodes, whatever. So bunch of therapy, bunch of this and that, and now we've come to the realization that I'm, borderline personality, which is fun. It's apparently the most common, one of the most common personality disorders in Australia, at least, if not around the world. I've actually done a fair bit of research since I came to realise a few things, and it's not quite a lot of people have it, I suppose, is the best way to say. Trying to work out the best way to not get the glare on the glasses. Anyway, I'll just take them off. Makes reading the screen a little difficult. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to read a little bit about borderline personality disorder. Excuse the lack of professional blah blah blah. People with borderline personality disorder have persistent difficulties in regulating their emotions and relating to other people. We all see the world through different eyes, but a person with borderline personality has an abnormally distorted view of themselves and the environment around them. There are many different symptoms associated with borderline personality, including intense mood swings, including outbursts of anxiety, anger, and depression, a pattern of tumultuous relationships with friends, family, and loved ones, alternating between idealizing and devaluing other people, fear of being alone, and frantic attempts to avoid abandonment. That's so me. Unstable and distorted self-image or sense of self, feeling neglected, alone, misunderstood, chronically empty or bored, feelings of self-loathing and self-hate, self-harm such as cutting as a coping mechanism, suicidal thoughts or suicide attempts, impulsive and risk-taking behavior such as unsafe sex, illegal drug use, woo, and gambling. Gambling's okay sometimes. Black and white thinking or difficulty compromising. Paranoid thoughts in response to stress, that's true as well. Severe dissociative symptoms such as losing touch with reality and feeling cut off. Now, the funny thing is one of my original diagnoses before the whole bipolar thing came along was major dissociative disorder or something like that. And I thought that sounded a bit like serial killy kind of thing. But, yeah. Now, I believe we may have actually found a diagnosis that works. In terms of what I've read about it, from what I've learnt, from what my psychologist has told me and my psychiatrist, even the medications I'm taking now. Mind you, I'm taking a lot of pills. A lot. But, and I will say I've noticed there's a noticeable, slowing of my brain processes. Like I'm not as sharp as I used to be. And that sort of thing. And I kind of feel like I'm dumber. But in terms of being emotionally, I can actually catch it sometimes. Whereas I could never catch it before. I can actually detect something's going to happen. And I can find alternate methods of coping. Yeah, and so that's about that, really. I'm still single. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that or not. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I have a terrible habit of liking girls that are unavailable. That hasn't changed. I'm living with two of my really good friends. We're very different people. But they had my back when a lot of people didn't. And I'll love them forever for it. And they accepted me into their family and made me a part of their family. And so it makes it a bit easier being so far away from my family. I miss my mum and my sister a lot. I even miss my dad. But yeah. I still find time occasionally to go visit my friends in Melbourne, but going to visit my parents is a lot harder because I've got a 4-hour train ride to get just to Melbourne, and then another 4 hours on another train to go out to where my parents live. Like, they're not together or anything, but they both live in the same sort of area. So, in terms of going out to visit them, it's a lot more difficult. So yeah. I'm trying to think of what else is new. I've been blogging a lot. I've been writing a lot of poetry and getting my feelings down. I've noticed a pattern that I tend to write a lot more and a lot better when I'm miserable. So I don't chase being miserable because it sucks. But when it happens, I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. I just kind of run with it. I don't run with it. It's better than denying it, I suppose. But because one of my coping mechanisms is trying to avoid stress at all cost. I pretty much go out of my way to try and I wouldn't say it's denial, but it sort of is. I know it's there, but I choose not to think about it, because thinking about it only does my head in, and it makes me lose my shit. So yeah. So I'm hoping, and there's no guarantee, and to be honest, I'm only recording this tonight because I'm feeling motivated, and the fact I have the house to myself at night, because I'm still self-conscious about recording in front of other people. But my housemates respect my privacy, and they know when I'm a bit down and that I need some space. They give me my space. But I also know that if I want to talk, I can. And what more can you ask for, really? Yeah. That's about all from me, I guess. Oh yeah, I've got blue hair, which is fucking shit now because most of it's washed out. I mentioned the glasses. Oh, I have hearing aids now, which I haven't got in at the moment because just before I started recording, I was listening to music a little bit loud. So I only have trouble with identifying sounds in like big clustered areas. I can't focus sounds, if that makes sense. And also, when I have them in, I'm more conscious of the sound of my own voice, so I can keep a monitor on how loud I'm talking, because I've always spoken loud. Like, I remember discussing it with my mum, and we kind of worked it out that I've been like that for a long time. So maybe I've always had ear problems. Getting old is fun. Got cholesterol bullshit, and getting old sucks, but it's also good because I wouldn't go back to being young ever. Unless you could go back to being young with everything you already knew, like everything you know now. Because I'd do some fucking shit better, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't hurt so many people, and I wouldn't have wasted so much time on some people too. Because one thing I worked out as I've gotten older, there's some of the people I ran with when I was younger weren't really my friends. You know, we had fun together and everything else, but I was destroying myself. You know, getting drunk and doing drugs all the time, and that no one really had my interest at heart. It was because I was fun to be around because I was the dickhead. Like, I was the guy who got blind and fell over and vomited all over himself and shit. And not many of them, only one really, would, be like, Adam, you've had enough. Of course, I'd get aggressive and say, fuck you, give me a drink. But no one else really did that for me. And I kind of needed that back then. So, yeah. Growing old is okay. You learn a lot. Like, I've learned so much about myself in the last year. I've had my ups and downs. I've discovered I have a paternal side, if that's the right word. I've discovered a love for children. Like, I love playing with my friends' kids. And I'm thinking about maybe one day if maybe I could be lucky enough to have some of my own. I think that would be a fun adventure. But only when I'm with the right person, of course. Because I don't want to end up like other people and, all the visitation and all that stuff. Like, I'd maybe even like to get married one day, I suppose. But I found the right one. Like, you don't have to get married to stay together forever, do you? But, I'm usually one for romantic gestures, all that nonsense. Poetry works. Anyway, I've been mumbling on for long enough. Hopefully I will, but let's be honest, I probably won't have a structure to the next video. But hopefully I'll have my other camera in working order next time. Because I've got one with the viewfinder and I keep looking over at it, just wondering how it's fucking looking, and I should be just addressing the viewer. Anyway, I digress. Like always. Anyway, this is hopefully not the last you've heard from me. And, if you're going through some hard times, whether it be a mental illness thing or, as I like to call, mental health, because illness is a negative connotation or whatever, so I like to use the term mental health. You're not alone. You're not. Even if you can't do what I did for a long time. Talk to people on the internet. You can talk anonymously. There's fucking helplines and all sorts of things. Just don't do anything stupid. Like, the biggest step I suppose I made was when I became self-aware. Like, I know that sounds all like Skynet-y kind of thing, like Skynet became self-aware and killed everyone. When I became aware of my own behaviours, like consciously, and it wasn't just a reaction to an emotion. Mind you, I still do it, but it's never quite as drastic as it used to be. As I said before, the joys of growing up. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. Feel free to leave a comment and all that kind of nonsense. But just, you're not alone. There are people who care. I found sometimes leaning on a complete stranger is so much easier than talking to someone you know. Because someone you know can be, like, disappointed, and they can find out something about you and be shocked and all that kind of crap. But, yeah. Just talk. That's why I'm doing this. Again. So that maybe, even if one person finds the courage to talk, then, it's cool. Because I really enjoyed the interaction last time around. And I kind of hope that I can have that again. But if I can't, then I can't. Anyway. I'll catch you all next time and take it easy.